I, on paper, looked very good, very solid in a good financial space, but I still felt like I was living paycheck to paycheck. I didn't understand where it was going. I didn't understand how to make ends meet, basically. And it's very frustrating to go to the store and have to question and look at your bank account. Can I get this or can I not get this? And it just needed help. I'm sitting here trying X, Y, and Z, and I'm still having this massive anxiety about finances and just not understanding how am I making X and spending X? Like it just doesn't make any sense. It's not adding up. So I think after you've exhausted all the options that it just doesn't work, you're just kind of left being like, I got to do something else. I got to change this story. To talk finances in general is a very personal thing. And like some people might not want to open up about it, but I think you just make it such an open, like judgment free, safe kind of space that it's something that you actually want to talk about. I think you're just so personable and easy to get along with. Like, so I think that builds this trust, right? And with your experience that you bring, I think it's easy to trust as well because it's like, okay, he knows what he's talking about. I feel comfortable getting advice from him about how to get from point A to point B. Everything is just easier automating. I think we can all certainly appreciate the beauty in not having to think so hard about, oh, this bill's due on the 7th, this is due on the 14th, this is due the 1st. Yeah, that in itself is a full-time job that nobody wants to do. It's stressful, it's anxiety inducing. Having someone come to you and say, hey, what if I set you up so that you don't have to think twice about that anymore? And all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm intrigued. And you had this concept of like, you literally are only pulling out enough money based on what you are spending on your bills every month. And then that excess, if there is any, but ideally there is an excess because there's always stuff that we're spending that we're just not accounting for, that goes into that savings or whatever bucket makes sense for you. So I think when I understood finally the flow, then it clicked with me like, oh, okay, this is the process. And this is why it makes sense that it should work. First of all, it's a lot less stress. I'm a very compartmentalized person. So I think it's just so nice to have it black and white. This card is for this card is for that, and you don't interchange them. Another thing for me is my business just had some success on my end that it kind of came very fast. And so the fact that I was already set up in this way just made everything 10 times easier because, I'm automated in my business account. I'm automated in my personal accounts. Since meeting with you, and I was at a certain point that now, in combination with the business doing well and this automation, like cash flow, just like sorting itself out, I'm up like 14K. I would tell someone who's on the fence, it may seem like a daunting investment, but you're literally investing in just improving your financial situation in the future. The automation for me, I understood what it meant, but until it was actually happening, sorting itself out and taking that kind of like full-time job of, juggling all those balls in the air, for me, that's when it finally clicked of like, this just makes so much sense. And this has already paid for itself in full and then some. So I think in combination with just how like kind of a person you are and how patient and all your teaching methods and things like that, this was a very solid choice that I already got my ROI on tenfold.